Hey guys, Sam here, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to present a full stretching and flexibility routine for heavyweight bodybuilders or just big guys in general, but this is actually very useful depending on whatever class you're competing in physique competitions. So bodybuilding, men's physique, classic physique, even the ladies stuff like women's figure, women's physique, bikini, all of that. Basically this routine is focused on the muscle groups that tend to get the tightest from bodybuilding training in general. So it's going to be of most use if you're already quite big, but if you're doing bodybuilding training at all, this is going to be a great stretching and flexibility routine for that. So if you're not big already, definitely check out my previous series, The Road to 300 pounds, and you'll be well on the way. But something we do often neglect is the flexibility and stretching, because I do appreciate it's not as exciting as massive meals, heavy weights, and blasting monster cycles, and all that good stuff. But I'm going to present all of this today, and I'm actually going to do the full stretches for the full duration. So if you want to save this video and actually do the routine along with the video until you memorized it, that would also be a good idea. So the muscle groups that we're focusing on, and not all of them, so there's not forearm stretches or tricep stretches, as they don't tend to get the tightest. If you do know your own other stretches, by all means include them. But what this is really focused on is the areas that do have a tendency to get tighter. And the purpose of improving the flexibility in all of this is to prevent injury, is to have greater flexibility for greater range of motion in the training, to improve training, to have better comfort during everyday tasks, which can be a problem once we start getting actually big, and also to improve flexibility for posing on stage. So it's going to be really something that is useful to put in for your bodybuilding performance and progression, whether it's a hobby or whether you're competitive. So bear that in mind. And what we're going to use are stretches for the lower back, the hamstrings, the quadriceps, hip flexors, glutes, the pectorals, the deltoids, the neck and the calves. And all of this is tailored to someone that's beginner to intermediate level in flexibility. So if you've already done things like yoga or experienced in stretching, maybe you could pick something more challenging. But if you're like most of us and you've neglected it, this is going to be super useful. This could be something that you could use as a routine as a complete beginner to it, or just a novice. So beginner to intermediate level for bodybuilding. Here we go, starting with stretches for the lower back. First one for the back is called the child's pose, and you're going to put your feet flat, so you're sat on your haunches like this. Sit back on it, and you're going to lean forwards, your hands flat, and then dip your forehead down and stretch through your mid and lower back for 30 to 60 seconds. So I'm doing that starting from now. Next one for the back, you can stay on the ground like this, but instead of sitting back on your heels like before, you can come up onto your toes and just be comfortably on all fours like this. It's called the cat-cow move, and you're going to do 10 to 15 reps of this, alternating between pushing up and doing a little stomach vacuum and arching your back and tilting your head forwards. And doing both parts of that is one rep. So that's one there, and I'm going to continue, which you can stretch along to or just memorize. and that's 10 there, the cat-cow. Now, next up for the back is the lat stretch, and for this one you're going to be standing up and you're going to take something solid, like some kind of pillar in the building that you're in, or you could take a door frame if you're doing this at home. Squat down ever so slightly, get a fix on it, and this is more for the lats than the last two stretches, which were more for the lower back, and you're going to pull back with your body weight like this, about 15 seconds each side. Switch over. And with that one, you're going to feel it stretching your biceps as well as your lats. Next up, we're stretching the hamstrings, the back of the leg there. This one, you're going to put your feet about hip width apart and then lean forwards at the hips, and you'll feel the stretch in your hamstrings, and hold that for about 30 seconds. After that standing forward bend for hamstrings, you're going to do seated hamstring stretch. Now you can do this sat flat on the floor, but if you're more beginner and you're not so flexible like me, you can do it sat on a bench. You just want one leg bent at the knee, one extended straight out, and it's the straight out leg where we're going to be stretching the hamstrings muscles by reaching forward, and hold for 30 seconds each side with me. And exactly the same on the other side, switch over. Stretching the hamstrings on the straight leg. And that's hamstring stuff. Moving on to the quadriceps, the front of the legs here, we're going to start off with the standing quad stretch. So you're going to grab a leg, pull your foot back up to your glutes, and keep your knees together, and stretch the front of the leg for 30 seconds once you've got your balance stable, like just wobbling the other foot around. If you can find something to stabilise yourself against, there's no reason not to do that. So I'm going to demonstrate that here for the other leg. And that's your first quadriceps stretch. Next one for the quads, you're going to be back on the mat. This is the lying quad stretch. So you can lie on your side and it's easiest if you just put your arm back like this, maybe support your head. Doesn't matter if the lower leg is straight or bent, it's whatever's more stable. As you basically do the same thing lying down, and it's a bit more stable like this. So we're going to do more stretches on the quads in this fashion, and hold for up to 30 again. And then you can simply roll over and do exactly the same on the other side. You're doing it along with me here. So support again, and top leg. Grab the top of the foot and stretch back towards your glutes and hold. And that's the lying quad stretch. Next, we're going to stretch the hip flexors, and this first stretch is best advised to use a mat on the ground. You're going to put your right foot back onto the top of the foot and lunge forward. So this is the hip flexors lunge stretch. You're going to lunge forward with the opposite leg and tilt the hips forward. And then switch over. So put my left leg back, a lunge forward with the right, and stretch again for about 30 seconds, pushing the hips forwards. So it's flat on the top of my foot, on my left foot here. And hold that for 30 seconds. And that's it for the lunge stretch. The next one for the hip flexors is a little bit more difficult. This time you're going to sit on the mat. You're going to bring your heels in close together and press outwards on your inner thighs to stretch your hip flexors there. And hold again for 30 seconds. And that's the butterfly stretch. Next up, stretching the glutes, I'm going to show you the pigeon pose stretch. Now I find this one more challenging. There's different variations of it, but the easiest way to get into the easiest variation, I find, is to put one knee slightly forwards and center, so I'm doing that on the left side now, and then tuck the right to the other side, and you're going to stretch the glutes on the left by pushing back with the right leg there. Now the further the knee or the leg that's at the front comes across the body to the opposite side, the more you're going to get that stretch. But I'm a little bit tighter. Yeah, so it's not coming across too far. So there's more for me to work on as well. And stretching the right side now. And that's the first stretch that we're using for glutes here. Next up for glutes is the lying or seated glute stretch. So you can do this sitting down, but I think it's easiest lying. So just lie on the mat here, and you're going to pull by the knee, one leg across the body, pull it back and across the body. You can feel the stretch of glutes back there. 30 seconds each side again.
That's more fun than this one, that's why. Strain your leg, no? Not really. Same, yeah? Thank you. You're just used to this one, though. You can't get a hold of it. I need to do both. This one, but that one. Thank you.
And switch over to the other side. And that's the basic stretches in this program for glutes. Now we're moving on to stretching the pectoral muscles, so the chest, and you can do this in a doorway, do both sides at the same time, but finding one that's an appropriate width and where you're standing, I find it easier to do each side separately. So something solid, again, you're going to put a hand about shoulder height up, press against it and stretch across the pecs here. So 30 seconds each side with me. And then switch the other way. I can just turn around here and use the other side of this. Pressing here and open up the chest. And that's it for the doorway stretch on the pecs. And the next one for the pectorals is stretching both together with your hands behind your back. So hold your hands together, fingers clasped here, and press up or leaning forward slightly. And it's stretching the chest there. 30 seconds again. So you can see behind. And that's all your stretches on the pectorals. Next muscle group in the routine is the deltoids. For this, you're going to do cross body shoulder stretch. So take one arm, put it across your body, other arm underneath, and stretch your deltoids just here. Should feel the stretch across there. 30 seconds each side. Switch over. I feel like this is a good shot for the thumbnail for the video. I'll stand here and have the Bodyworks logo and then the title up here perhaps. There we go. Alright, moving on. Next one on the deltoids is shoulder circles. Put your arms out straight. You're going to do 10 to 15 small controlled circles, forwards and backwards. And into reverse backwards. And that's the deltoids portion. Next we're going to be stretching the neck, and you'll probably know these, but so that you can follow on, I am going to do it in full. But so that I'm not just staring at you while doing weird things with my neck, like The Exorcist or something, I'm actually going to face the other way, because it could get a little bit creepy and rather Exorcist-like. But you're going to stretch your neck, tilted to the side each way, 30 seconds. And the other way. You can get extra stretch on this by pulling your head across with the hand, but if you're just starting this, it won't be necessary. You'll still feel the stretch in your neck here as you pull it across. So just one more neck stretch to do, and for that I feel like I should do it underneath whichever of these gentlemen had the thickest neck. So we got Jay there, we got Ronnie, we got Flex. I think it's going to have to be Ronnie. The last stretch for the neck is just the head to chest, the tilted down one, and as I won't be staring you out doing this one, I don't mind facing the camera. So last one on the neck, here we go, 30 seconds. Look at that. Well, that spread is that. Boom. Nothing to it but to do it. One more stretch. Well done if you've made it this far. One more stretch and then that's the whole routine done, and I'll explain a little bit more at the end. So stretching the calves now, let's move on. Out of the murals here, I think the best calves would have to go to Dorian, so I'm going to do the calf stretching near Dorian. But you're going to have to see what's going on, so we'll tilt this down. This is the standing calf stretch. And like before, you can either take a wall or something solid to press up against. And what I'm going to do is stretch the calf muscles of the back leg by bending the forward leg at the knee, leaning into the wall or post, and just pressing back with that back leg and stretching the calves there. And hold for 30 seconds again. Switching over, so this time the right knee is bent and we're stretching the calves of the left leg. If I lean forward against the post or the wall, whatever you've got, and press the heel down, you really get the stretching of the calves if you press the heel down there as you lean forward. And really straighten at the knee on the back leg and press the heel down the back leg, look at the stretching the calves. And that's all the stretching done for today, but this is an exercise to be doing every day if you can. How you split it up is really up to you. You could really take some of the easier ones like the shoulders, chest and the neck and the calves perhaps, and do that as a morning routine, and then perhaps do the ones that involve the mat after your workout. So I'm going to say either first thing in the morning, last thing at evening, or post-workout would be the best times for this, but split it up however you feel. But if you can do it every day, that's going to be most beneficial. And I'd recommend to not take too long. You might split it into 2 sessions and do the ones that are standing up and upper body as one session, and the ones that are more the quads, hamstrings, glutes, and the lower back, all as a session to do after your workout. So I hope that's been helpful, and if you find it hard to remember, just follow along to the video whenever you're going to do this until you've memorized it. Remember to subscribe if you like the bodybuilding content, because I'm covering all of bodybuilding here. I'm doing interviews, I'm doing full workouts, I'm talking about PEDs, I'm talking about planning diets, I'm talking about tracking progress. I'm showing you a bit of my journey, like the journey to 300 pounds, like the health reset phase, all this sort of thing. It's all here in this channel. And I'm a full-time coach in this, so this is an area that you're probably neglecting. Try this little session, this little stretching routine. You can progress from there, but this is a really good entry point if you've neglected flexibility and you want to prevent injuries, be better at posing with flexibility if you do compete, recover better, get more range of motion out of your exercises. Would be useful there, but we're covering everything in bodybuilding here. So hope you enjoyed. If you've got any questions about this or anything else bodybuilding, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Cheers.